So Jamal. So I guess I met Jamal pretty much when I got hired. He was on a different shift than me, but I just remember they said, "Oh, you got to meet Big Red," and his family obviously had the place by Station 5, and then we met Big Red, and he's definitely was quite the character. The like Keith said earlier, but we talked about he had the lack of filter that he had. So
no filter, and you definitely knew where you stood with him. I think most importantly for me, though, I mean, just outside of the department, just him as he was as a dad and as a family guy. I think he's very outspoken. He cares about his family, and he cares about the people he works with. I think that delves into him being the guy that he is.
Mine is every morning when I get to hear him come on shift and go, Lady River, Battalion 1.
Very white voice.
But, I'm going to miss hearing that every morning, so I guess I'll pick it up. And I know Karen does a good one as well, but it's always fun to hear him on the radio because he's got that slow
we'll
drawl.
We'll still get to hear that.
Yeah. I think we put the fire out and he's still going, we got
And he says that about me, and I'm like, you obviously don't hear yourself talk. At Station 1, we had a bathroom that was in the back, and I remember a time where they were kind of open stalled showers with glass in between and shower curtains in between, and Jamie had to go to the bathroom, I guess, pretty bad. And I was in one of the showers, and Robbie was in one of the showers, and he was trying to be funny and thought he'd fart on one of us, and it was more than a fart, I'll say that. And he did it in Robbie's stall, so it wasn't on my side, but that was a pretty good one. That's definitely one that I'll always remember.
I would think. Jeez.
I spent a lot of time with Jamie. A lot of time. Even when I first got hired, I went to Station 4. He turned into be one of my best friends. I mean, his kids go to vacationing with us. So it's special to me. I feel bad to see him leave, but he's going to enjoy his retirement.
Sherry, on the other hand.
Yeah, she's done for.
I feel sorry for them.
What's memorable to me is every day I walk in, he'll look at me, laugh, say a joke, even when he's, kind of mad at something or going on, I walk in, he gets happy and then makes fun of me and he's all happy, and I'd say that's something memorable. I get to see it every day. I've been working with him for a couple of years. I would say my relationship with him is, he's my boss, but he's also kind of like my dad. It's nice to have him to lean on, just to ask questions. He helped me buy my house. He helped me just like, oh, you should go to a doctor and see that, or oh, you should do this. Any situation in my life, I could always have an older father figure to go and get advice. He's just always been there for me, his crew, and we're gonna miss him.
I've been working with him for 24 years now, and just like Gillig said, he's helped with pretty much everything. Whatever you need advice on, he's always helped with. With me becoming a firefighter, he helped me a lot, and in my personal life, obviously, he's helped me as well.
How about it? I've known Jamie, Chief, for about 15 years now. Started out downtown, spent a lot of time together down there. He used to beat me down and put me on Med 1 repeatedly, and always had a good time laughing about it, but definitely gonna miss him. He was a great guy, and it was a lot of fun listening to him as the shift goes on, and he would get more tired. I think his just kept getting longer and longer, and every time he'd get on the radio after midnight, they were the best size ups ever. So that legacy will live on and definitely be missed.
I've known Jamie for about 11 years now. Again, down at Station 1 is when I first met him. I was telling Will the story real quick about first word he told me, boy, you need a haircut. About a month later, when I finally got one, the second word he ever said to me was, it's about time, Carlos. And everybody knows my name is not Carlos, but for some reason he always wanted to say that, and me being new was never going to question him. He came to B shift, and that's when I really got to know Jamie, because I was on B shift with him, And then I knew that he did know my name. He just likes to fuck with you a lot. If I had known that then in the beginning, I would try to avoid Jamie, because literally has become a pain in my ass ever since. In a good way though. But that's how I got to know Jamie.
I took one of my first ass chewings thanks to him. He really enjoyed playing cards when he was my captain, and he always wanted to play Palace at night. And it was at 7 o'clock, which is our own time, but we had a chief, I'm not going to name any names, but Daniels was his name, didn't like the fact that we were playing Palace at 7 o'clock, that Jamie wanted to play, and then I got pulled into the office and was basically told by the chiefs that there's better things for me to be doing than playing cards at 7 o'clock. So
he did like to play
I
those
appreciate
card
the
games.
ass chewings that I've taken for you.
Jamie, he always had your back. No matter what it was. I know one time, back in the day, we had all these different rules, and I forgot, we were on some med unit, but me and my partner were both in the store, and we were supposed to keep somebody out, whatever it was, and then, a couple units saw us, and Jamie actually was the one that went by, called me up, gave me a good ass chewing as well, but then just said, next time just park the car in the back or something, He always had your back. He wasn't going to get you in trouble or anything like that, so that was always good, because, he just had your back at all the time.
I first met Jamie probably 14 years ago. We were on separate shifts. I think he was probably a driver at the time, and I was a newer firefighter.
Yeah, I met Jamie when we were doing school. We always do ride times on A shift, and he was really personable. He'd always talk to you. He wouldn't just talk to you like normal guys would, asking what you're in school for. He'd get personal, funny stuff. But he always made you feel at home. Even when he was a battalion chief, it was still he was with everybody else, and you could always lean on him for whatever you needed.
It's not too often that you see a somebody like him, a battalion chief, going out and busting his ass to do his best to get you promoted, and he's just all about making sure he gets he gets the best out of you, and the best comes out of yourself. And I'm sure David would agree that
you just expect the best, and then there was if you didn't do the best, you felt like you let him down, but it's just you had that much respect for him that you wanted to do the best. I remember one time he was at the station, and April's kids were running around, and here's a battalion chief chasing around the kids, making funny noises and shit, and then it's just this guy is in charge of us, and he had that kind of respect that you could always just respect him. No matter what he did, it was always you knew Jamie knew the best, and he looked out for you. Day one, you're one of his guys, and whatever happens, whatever falls down, it's going to be he take care of you. Were you there during the beginning of pickleball?
I mean, funny moments. I mean, he mentioned pickleball. Playing pickleball with Jamie was a freaking nightmare.
Oh.
I mean, did it go out? Did it not go out? It never went out. If he hit it,
he would hit you with a. Did you see my contact? And just
yeah.
And then there was the back problems. He'd throw that in when it was starting to go downhill.
Yeah, his hips were bothering him, or his back was bothering him when somebody was kicking his ass.
The time he called Todd Pasta Boy, we don't even know what that was. What deep level that came from.
Yeah.
I got hired in 2017, and I was at Station 13, and Jamie was battalion back then on C shift. And my first impression of Jamie is, I didn't know, I was the new guy, and but he always loved being involved with the crew, hanging out, and everything from just doing chores and cooking and playing pickleball or working out. He was always involved with us, and so it was nice to have that family aspect and a friendly face. It kind of took me under his wing.
I've known Jamie for 30 plus years from high school. He's a couple years older than me. Should have followed his footsteps. I'd be nipping on his heels, retiring pretty soon as well. But he's a good mentor coming up, showing a lot of family values at the fire station, a lot of humor, cutting up, knowing when to be serious, and like I said, a lot of good values in the man.
He was always a pleasure to work around. Like Wayne said, with the family values, and he was always a part of the crew. It wasn't just, there's a chief here, and he was always part of pushing the mop around, with the rest of us. We're gonna miss him. Hard to see him go. But a lot of good memories to take with us and carry on. I'm sure we'll see him around a lot.
Well, I remember going back to the World Police and Fire games. We used to play softball together, and I didn't realize Jamie is a big, gentle giant. Didn't like to be scared at all. I was joking around, we were about to take off, I think, out of Melbourne Airport, and was joking around about the old Twilight Zone. There's something on the wing. Something. And Jamie was white knuckled there. And the guy was actually out there on the wing working on the plane, and he was scared to death the whole flight. And I'm like, what was that? And he goes, stop, man, stop. And just, realized that was what was bothering him. So I figured I'd just keep poking the bear, and knowing that he could crush my skull with one blow.
And we used to mess around at the station with Jamie. Jamie was very easy to scare, whether it be with this little clown mask or costume that they had. And they used to either put that on and in his bunk or jump out of a corner. And Jamie you'd always hear him scream. I know he was embarrassed to do it, but anything just to get a rise out of him, just to poke the bear a little bit was always a fun time.
Jamie loves clowns. We can bring up that story. So one day at the station, Nicole put this clown mask on, and she climbed up in his office, up on top of the bunks, and there were a few cuss words that came out of his mouth.
He didn't know. He didn't know I was in there. So when he came in the room, I knocked something off the top of the locker to get his attention. And when he looked up and he saw me, yeah, there was a few cuss words. He didn't talk to me for like 2 or 3 shifts.
He threw
was that
the mop.
pissed off.
The mop got thrown. Yeah. Met him 20 plus years ago. He's probably one of my first lieutenants. Guided me. See, I'm already gonna cry.
It's okay.
Guided me through becoming engineer, lieutenant, and just one of my best friends.
That's awesome. I met Jamie almost 15 years ago on my orientation week with the department, and he was testing for engineer. And he has also been a huge influence in my career. One of my greatest friends, huge supporter of my life, my family. It's just an amazing person in my life for sure.
Mostly just down at Station 4 and just the good times around there, around the dinner table. Basically growing up. I mean, I was young. I was 21 years old when I got hired. So he's been a huge part of my life.
As far as the department goes, I mean, I could tell you a million things. He's just been, he's motivated a lot of people. He's protected a lot of people.
Mentored a lot of people.
And he really does love us the way he loves his family. He's made a lot of sacrifices for us, as a man would for his family at home.
All I know is Jamie's always been a heck of a good cook, or at least he thinks he is, but I'll vouch for it. It was very good. Jamie became another mentor, again, not just on the friendship level, but on the fire side. I looked up to Jamie for his guidance. One thing about Jamie, I always knew he'd do the right thing. And I always valued everything we talked about, and whether it was development career-wise or development as a father or as a friend to others, Jamie always provided good guidance. That is going to be sorely missed on my end here in the fire service, but I'm very excited for Jamie for his future. He can now have a lot more time to do what Jamie wants to do, because I can tell you, I can't think of many people out there that was a better father, better husband, better friend. I just wish him the best. Jamie, I love you. You're getting a little bit older now, though. You got to watch the double dip chicken. There is a thing called salmonella, and I know you've heard it before, but it's real now. Love you, buddy.
Hey, Jamie, it's your captain speaking. I'm by the fireside here with my coffee, and I don't know if you got a fireplace so you can do this or not, but anyway, I want to congratulate you on your retirement. Great job, well done, and I know you got some great plans now. In fact, what are your plans? If you think sitting around the fireplace, if you've got one like I am, that's bullshit. You're gonna have to get your ass and get a damn job, okay? Sherry ain't gonna have that shit. can tell you that right now, okay? Now, I also found this memo here, and I'm going to give it to you. It's got 25 personnel on it that were qualified to take the backup engineer class in 1990. And your name's on here. And you probably don't know that you are the last person of these 25 people that will retire. And I highlighted your name because you completed this memo, and this was from Normie Wells, our training officer, and I just wanted you to know that, and it's quite interesting. I think you'll get a kick out of it. And we hope to see you at the party. And I know these people all had names, like everybody had a name, a nickname. That's just the way things were at the fire department. Again, I tell you, great job. I hope you have a great retirement, you and Sherry and the kids, and I hope to see you soon.
Hey, yo, Jamie, I heard you're finally calling it quits and you're gonna retire, so we just wanted to say congratulations! From your entire extended New York family, come up whenever you want. We'll get a decent slice.
We'll get a cannoli.
Maybe a good bagel.
And Sherry, I gotcha. We'll go out to the wineries.
So here's to you, Jamie. Congratulations.
We love
100
you.
years, Chandani.